Hello and welcome to Q Today. I'm your host for this show, Nate Bello. I'm filling in for Mitch Vick, who will be back on Friday.
And I'm Allison Duddy, your other host for this program. Good to see you, Nate.
And coming up later in the show, we've got Ron's Rumblings with Ron Campbell. And stay tuned for that. I think he's going to talk about turn signals.
Should be a good one. Before we get into the news, we just want to say, as always, thank you for watching, and remind you too that our weekday show runs from Tuesday at 5 p.m. till Friday at 8 a.m. and the weekend show, runs from Friday at 5 p.m. till Tuesday at 8 a.m. And that's every day that we broadcast at 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m.
Okay, and if you have any comments on the show, you can reach us at qcatv.ca. For some information on a sponsor, give me a call, 992-3650. And thanks to the Quesnel Caribou Observer, yay, Quesnel Caribou Observer, for being our partner and providing some of the stories.
We need some pom-poms.
Yeah, yay, Observer.
All right, we do just give the highlights here on Q Today, so if you want to get the full details on any of the news stories that we cover here, certainly pick up your copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer. And now we're going to go over to Nate here for the news.
Okay, a shocker to begin with. Arthur Topham, who's well known in our community, has been writing for the Radical Press, a former teacher, had his house searched and personal documentation seized on May 16th after it was determined that there were reasonable grounds, that's what they call it, for an offense of promotion of hatred. He has a lawyer. His name is Doug Christie. He was arrested when leaving his property, and they seized computer, laptops, smartphone devices, billing records, receipts, correspondence, and they have now charged with offense under Section 319, subsection 2 of the Criminal Code, willful promotion of hatred. His lawyer, Doug Christie, says it's all speculation until the indictment is available. And you may know Doug Christie is well known for supporting people who have been accused of hate crimes. He did Ernst Zerndl, and he is the founder and general counsel for the Canadian Free Speech League. So we will certainly follow this one. As I said, Topham is well known throughout the community. He's known for his leftist views, but in this case he's got a fairly right-wing lawyer to support him. So it's kind of ironic in a way. Next court case, October the 9th.
Interesting. We'll definitely keep an eye on that, hey, Nate?
Yeah.
All right, well, I think it was Tuesday of last week. You may have been lucky enough to get a glimpse of one of the classic cars that rolled into town on their way from New York to Alaska in the Trans-American Rally. Observer reporter Jonas Gagnon took some pictures of some of the cars, and he wrote a story on one of the driver-navigator teams. The driver is Alastair Caldwell, and his navigator is his 94-year-old mother, Dorothy. And they decided, they decided that this 13,500 kilometer rally would be a great way for them to bond, as he lives in England and she in New Zealand. So they have apparently had a lot of time to catch up in the nice plush cushy seats of his 1960s Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3 that Alastair chose to take on the rally. And Dorothy said that while age might hold some people back, she said, "What have I got to lose? I'm 94, and if I die, well, that'll be okay."
And Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud.
Exactly. She's got a sister who lives in St. Louis, so this isn't her first time to North America, Nate, but this was her first time to Canada, and she said every bit of it has been lovely, so that was nice to hear too. The cars head up to Smithers next, and from there they head north to Anchorage, Alaska, which is the finishing point of the race.
Amazing.
13,500 kilometers. I was curious how long it actually takes them to do the rally, but it didn't say in the article. So.
Well, they have a little bit of a vacation ahead of them.
Yeah.
Okay, Allison, what's RCMA?
RCMA.
I will tell you.
You better.
It's not Royal Canadian Mounted anything.
Okay.
It is the River City Music Association. It's a new organization
Okay, yeah.
in our community, and Lori Rathier is one of the organizers of RCMA, and their purpose, in her words, is to help musicians to have a local voice and local music affairs. And she says, we hope to work with the city to put on events and bring bigger shows to the local arena and help showcase the need for musician-friendly space in the new multi-center. So they put on musical education, like workshops, clinics, get people jamming together. And one of the positive things is they keep money and jobs in Quesnel. The main focus of society is to promote music and musicianship, and to help promote our city as a music destination. So they're really working hard to bring it up a level. And I wonder what Eddie is thinking about how he could get involved, because he also has his show, which brings together a lot of local musicians. So hopefully they're working together. And if you want to participate in RCMA, all you have to do is show up. Just go to various things. This last weekend they had something at the Legion. You can purchase a one-year membership to the RCMA. I was wondering if I was going to do that for $50 for adults for the year, $75 for the family, or $25 for seniors and students, or you just pay at the door $5. Okay. So Rathier said all ages are welcome, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun if you know music and you want to promote musicianship in the Quesnel community.
Yeah, that sounds good. And with hopefully the new multi-center and stuff, that would be a great place to
I think things are really going to mushroom. I think that, Eddie has started out getting people together. Now here comes Lori Rathier, and there are other people, Bert DeVink with the Windy Reeds, and there's a lot of musicianship here, and it is only going to, I can't wait to be in that seat when the first event happens in the Performing Arts Center. I'm going to be theirs with, what is it, bells on, toes on.
Yes,
toes
bells
on.
on.
Bells.
There with
Okay,
bells on.
whatever.
All right, well, recently Ken Edwards, who is the umpire-in-chief for Quesnel Girls Softball, recently submitted a letter to Mayor and Council outlining concerns that he has with the ballparks at West Fraser Timber Park. He started out his letter by saying how pleased he was with the condition and the maintenance of the facilities, but he goes on to say in his letter that recent games have revealed that there are some safety concerns, primarily in the dugout area. He explained that there are two areas where a batted ball could potentially hit people who are sitting or standing in the dugout, which could create a safety risk to players. Apparently this happened recently and is why Edwards wrote the letter in the first place. Councillor Ed Coleman didn't think it was a really serious issue. He suggested that it could possibly be handled by the Public Works staff, but Councillor John Briscoe felt that with the safety concerns, maybe it might be a little bit more of an urgent matter. So the cost to fix these dugouts properly would be about $6,500. Director of Public Works, Ken Coombs, pointed out that we've had the dugouts there for 10 years, never had an incident of this sort until now, and he added that he's not sure that this repair needs to necessarily happen right this minute. But he did say, however, that if council does want to have the work done, that he thinks he could probably come up with the money somewhere in the West Fraser Timber Park budget. So in the end, council ended up deciding to refer the issue back to staff and have them come back to council with a report.
Back, come back, give us a report. You know,
So
how much is it going to cost for them to do a report? Okay, it takes about 2 or 3 of them writing for 2 or 3 hours.
$6,500 that it would cost to do the dugouts.
Yeah, just do the dugouts. In fact, a lot of times in the past, you just go, because we got a small town.
Yeah.
You go and you talk, in those days, Jack Marsh, now it's Ken Coombs, and say, hey, Jack, Ken, we got a problem here. Could you just come and do something? And half the time it gets done. Well, maybe, you know, so 6,500, you know, it's safety, it's probably a part of a maintenance budget, but you bring it up at a level. Maybe he did bring it up to Ken, and Ken said, well, it's not that important or something. That's why we don't know for sure. But he wrote the letter. You either do it or not do it. Council, make a decision. You don't need another report. The report itself is going to cost $1,000, you know? So, anyway. You know, I had kids in softball and stuff like that, and you know, sometimes those little line drives off the baseline, they're going at a pretty good clip.
When you're weighing, you've got $6,500 on one side and the safety of children on the other side. Really, maybe it's only happened once in 10 years that they know of, but you get a ball hit in the right place in your head or something like that, and it really could be a big injury to someone. So why take that chance?
Get on with it.
All right, let's move on.
All right. So here's the story about Quesnel. Here's the story about Quesnel ingenuity, and you had the Rose Rice story earlier. Now here's another auto story. Annie Gallant wrote a great story about Jason Scarrett and Terry Fleeby of Terry's Auto Lab. Now, Jason was restoring his 1960 Dodge Super Bee with a 440 Mopar engine, okay? And Terry was helping him. But when they finished, there still was a leak in the transmission, and they tried different gaskets and O-rings and this and that, and nothing could stop it. And so Jason was confident that Terry could find the solution, kept bugging Terry, hey, have you found the solution? Have you found the solution? Finally, Terry, and this is what he's known for, he finds a problem, he fixes it, and moves on. He actually devised a special thing that put it on the transmission, on top of the transmission, that was better than the original one that was fabricated by Chrysler, Dodge Motors, and all those people originally. Because this problem had gone on for everybody that's bought those old Dodge trucks had this problem, and he just developed this new top of the transmission thing, and it definitely improved the design, and now all the old Dodges can't be repaired. So Jason was elated. Terry was really happy about it, but Jason said, "Hey, let's market this. Let's build a whole bunch of them. There's people out there that have leaky transmissions. Let's fix it up." And so Terry, as I said, he just likes to move on. But then finally he did get excited about it. And to make a long story short, they've now sold this part as far away as Australia and Norway, many parts of the United States, and of course all throughout Canada. So congratulations, guys, showing Quesnel can stand right up there in terms of ingenuity. Let's go. What's your next invention, Terry and Jason? I'd like to know.
That's great. That's a great story.
Yeah.
And there's probably, like you say, I mean, there's how many of those old cars on the road?
That's right. And
they
were saying some people don't want to admit there's a leak.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. But still, they've ordered a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've sold a lot of them.
Great. Good story. So another good story in the Observer this week, Madison Roll. She's a 15-year-old student who attends Quesnel Junior Secondary School, and she submitted a write-up to the Observer about her participation in the travel club and their upcoming trip to Italy and Greece at the end of June with EF Education Tours. She talks about how she got involved with the travel club in September 2010. She said that she knew instantly right away that she wanted to be involved with this trip. And they started out doing a lot of fundraising once she got the okay from her parents that she could go. They have had some travel club leaders who've been guiding them with the fundraising, Corey Hart and Brian Cullinane. The activities that they did to fundraise include selling pies, poinsettias, flower baskets, wreaths, 50/50 tickets, raffle tickets, and water bottles. They also organized a garage sale and a Christmas bingo to help them be able to go on this trip. And some of the places that Madison and the travel club will be traveling to in Italy, Greece include Athens, the Isle of Hydra, Corinth, Sicily, Taormina, Mount Etna, Palermo, Naples, Herculaneum, Rome, Assisi, Florence, and Siena. So sounds like a lot of fun. And the article, Madison, you can just tell she's got that 15-year-old, excitement. She's counting down the
Beautiful picture,
days.
too.
Yeah, she's counting down the days until they leave. She said in the article that she's blessed to be able to share this trip with her 2 best friends and her parents. So it sounds like a great opportunity for her and the club. It didn't say in the article how many students are actually going, but it's an 18-day trip. And I hope that Madison writes a follow-up when she gets back to let everybody know how the trip was, because I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
Right, and those trips are great, and they raise the money. It's not like the city using taxpayers' money, but that's all right. But my daughter went on. My daughter went on one of those with a great teacher, Angie Heenan, years ago, and they just had a wonderful trip. I'm very interested in knowing what their experience in Greece will be like. We're getting all this
with
news,
everything going on there,
imploding. But I wonder how the regular people are doing in terms of their daily life. So hopefully they'll kind of get a picture of that.
Well, like I say, hopefully she'll write a follow-up, and maybe we'll get a little look into that.
Right. Maybe we'll interview her.
Hey, that would be a great idea.
Good idea. Yeah, sure. Okay, on to sports now. And of course, we've got one of the great archery clubs throughout British Columbia, the Quesnel Archery Club. And I've got 2 little things from them. First of all, at Pioneer Park, the Quesnel River Archery Club had an event very recently. Archers from all over BC interior, 100 Mile, Williams Lake, Prince George, Vanderhoof, came to Pioneer Park to in the outdoor 3D shoot. Everything's 3D now. It all means what you see, in 3D. Hey, I got up and I was in 3D. All right, anyway, Wayne Schaefer is the organizer, very well known for really promoting archery in our community. Said there were 103 archers. They only thought that there were going to be 80 people, but 103 showed up from those cities, and they set up a trail system. And what you had to do, is go along the trail system, and you follow the trail until you hit or at least shoot at every one of 30 targets. And they had funny targets. They had mountain goats and bears, just simple things, and an exotic, a cobra, and then they had downright weird, like the caribou sasquatch, as well as toilet seats and other things that they had to do. So they all had a really great time. Some posed quite a bit of difficulty, and other targets were picturesque, like a moose placed by the lakeside and grassy field. Everything was wonderful. So it was a great event, and the archery club is wonderful. So, they like to have a good time, but they're also known for being excellent. And the other article has to do how Dale Chaplow of the Archery Club got second at the Burnaby Canada Cup very recently. And 1 arrow cost him the gold. He got silver.
Wow.
And he did well in the entire championship and was sitting on top of the heap going into the last round. And that's when his arrows, which he really works hard on, came into play. Halfway down the fletching, the little arrow stuff came off, and the arrow dove. So in other words, so he came in second place. I think it was by 3 points or something like that. Yeah, and so he was disappointed, but what an excellent finish.
That's still a great job.
And Sydney Watson, another member, took she's a student, took a step into the senior division from her junior division, and she managed to finish the tournament in 3rd. So congratulations to both of them.
Good
Congratulations to the Quesnel Archery Club.
All right. Thanks, Nate. I have rodeo again. Surprise, surprise. I like to talk rodeo, Nate.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I do.
All right.
The Kersley Horse Club came out to put their horses through the paces at Alex Fraser Park recently. In Pee-wee pole bending, Kira Stoll rode Amber to victory, followed by Emma Langevin on Sniper. They had an open class as well. Wendy Broughton placed first in 1D on Okie. Debbie Roach took 2D on Stormy. Lonnie Stoll took 3D on Jack. And in 4D, Sarah Mack ran away from the pack on Sissy. Pee-wee barrel racing. My little nephew's having a great season this year, Nate. I like talking. Well, I like going and watching too. It's something I know a little bit about. Anyway, a little bit about. So Dyson Leneve on pennies. He was the fastest through the course in Pee-wee barrel racing. He was followed by Emma Langevin again on Sniper and Brooklyn Glassford on Jack. In the junior field, Taylor Cherry was the lone contestant in 1D, which put her on top on TC. In 2D, Charla Hancock took the top spot on Chewy, with Taylor Cherry in second on Whisper and Taylor Cathcart in third on Faith. In 3D, 2 riders rounded out the field. Kelly McKenzie got first on Drifter, and my little niece, Perry Lynn Leneve, got second on Betty. And in 4D, Caitlin Olson rode Emily for first place. Just about there, the open barrel racing saw Taylor Cherry take the fastest time on TC, followed by Terry Mycock on Kirby and Ashley Sward on Mava Joe to round out the initial D. And in 2D, Barb Van Halderen took first on Sierra, with Darla Cork on Breeze and Sarah Mack on Sissy, logging the exact same time for a 2-3 tie. Terry Mycock placed first in 3D on Jules, with Heather Stewart on Johnny and Sarah Mack on Sissy, taking second and third respectively. And rounding out the field, another Leneve, Daleen, took first in 4D. So that was a good outing.
Yeah, great to see the kids have a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. And it gives them something to do. You know, kids these days, they need stuff to do. And to see my little niece and nephew out there, and they love it, and they're getting so much better at it. It's fun to watch.
Okay, so it's time for photo of the day, and Dave Sutton was at it again. He's our eyes on Quesnel. Eyes on Quesnel.
Hey,
Dave
I like
Sutton.
that.
Okay, yeah. Okay, he was at the Antique Machinery Park, and there's a lot of antique machinery out there, and it's really antique-y. So what we've got is that besides the pictures, just want to show you that they have a big event coming up. I'll hold it up here. It's Saturday, June 23rd. At the there will be sawmill demonstrations, and they are really fun because these old-fashioned sawmills, they still work, they still cut logs, and sometimes I wonder about the safety, but anyway, I guess they're taking all precautions. There's going to be blacksmith demonstrations, and it's food available and silent auction, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's at 3055 Dragon Lake Road, basically just south of town, just a little left turn going out of town. So enjoy yourself, to take a ride out there, and you know, they're sort of under new management there, so they're really putting a big push to create the displays in a very positive way, and they're working very, very hard. So hey, if you haven't been out there for a while, give them a chance. And so the pictures are beautiful, but at the very end, you will see a squirrel taking a 10-mile lake. That doesn't have anything to do with the Antique Machinery Park. But Allison, you can't help it. You like squirrels. And, you know, we got to have a squirrel. There's your friendly squirrel. Thank you, Dave.
It's a baby squirrel, Nate. It's really
a little
cute.
baby squirrel, yeah.
And Dave sent me the picture, and so I thought, well, we'll combine it. Like I say, you know me, the animal lover in me came out. I wanted to show the baby squirrel.
You love the animals, especially the rodeo animals that get ridden on. Okay, that's all right. That's okay,
it's all good, right?
It's all good, right?
Okay, so before we get into our next segment, Nate, we actually got some stats in on Relay for Life. They had 34 teams participate this year, 346 participants, and 200 plus volunteers, which is just fantastic. So in all, they raised $240,783.02. They still have more coming in, so that's not the final total, almost $250,000.
Wow.
Just absolutely fantastic. I don't know, I'll have to ask Kathy, but I think that might be a record for here in Quesnel. Kathy Briggs and Michelle Godfrey, they were the co-chairs of the event this year. They want to thank everyone, a heartfelt thank you to all the volunteers, participants, anyone that came down to the park and was involved in any way, shape, or form in the relay this year. So great numbers, and we'll keep you posted when we get a final number.
Can't believe it.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
That is. I think last year was like $170,000 or $180,000. So that's just a huge jump from last year's total.
Right.
Fantastic. Way to go, Quesnel.
Okay. Good. Okay. Let's take a look now. There's one thing. Oh. We forgot.
Yeah, we forgot and we forgot Ron's Rumblings.
Oh, Ron's
We've
Rumblings.
got a segment coming up here.
Oh, okay.
Where is it?
We've got a special treat. It says right here, well, we've got a special treat up next.
That's right. We've got Ron Campbell came in to do some rumblings. You mentioned it earlier at the show on some driving and turn signal stuff.
Yeah.
So now, let's see if I can't do it as good as Bruce Buffer, but let's get ready to rumble with Ron's rumblings.
You know what is sad? When someone invents something very important and useful, but some refuse to use it. Like turn signals on cars, for example. Quesnel drivers, listen up. There is a device on your car that shows your intentions when you come to a corner or you intend to turn your vehicle other than going in a straight line. It's called a turn signal. Yes, it actually works. And it will not drain your battery, destroy your electrical wiring, burn out your light bulbs, or in any way cause your vehicle to misbehave. Honest. So you know who you are. So start hanging up your cell phone, pay attention to your driving, and let others on the road know what your intentions are, even if at times you do not. Remember, turn signals are a safety device. Use them.
Okay, Ron, I think, has a pretty good point there. You know, I used to drive down and put the direction light to go into my driveway, even though there's nobody behind me. But I thought, what the heck? You get trained, you do it in the same way. How much energy did it take to put on the right directional signal to go in my driveway?
What? I totally agree with you, Nate. I put my turn signal on, whether it's 2 in the morning, nobody in front of me, behind me, or anything. Because if you get in the habit of doing it every time, then you're just being a safer driver, I think, in my opinion. So
yeah. Thank you, Ron.
All the
Thank
time,
you,
yes.
Ron.
Thanks,
okay,
Ron.
now it's time for Community Calendar.
All right, remember, we're still doing our Photo of the Week contest, so send your photos in. Thanks to a sponsorship from the Lung Association of BC, we're giving away this great Golf Privilege Club book to each weekly winner. We gave one away last show, and we'll be giving one away again on our next show. It's normally a $35 book. It's got lots of great golf courses in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, even some down in Washington State. It would make a great gift, even if you're not a golfer and you have a picture that you want to send in to us. So we will be making another draw on our next show, and every week until the end of June. So get your local photos into us, Q today at qcatv.ca. You have to play to win, so enter your photos.
Right on. That's it for our show today. Thanks a lot for watching. The next show, we're going to have Matt Wood and I think Tanya Turner also to talk about our Quesnel, the sustainability project. We'll have a little interview with them.
Good.
And if you want to give us any feedback, just drop us a line at qtoday@qcatv.ca. And if you want to sponsor or you want to volunteer, we're getting a few more volunteers, but we could use a little bit more. We want somebody to work in the studio with post-production. So if you're interested in that, especially come September, and give us a call or give John McKenzie a call, station manager, 992-8363.
All right, thanks, Nate. Remember, we're also up on Facebook now too, so you can watch us either on Facebook or at qcatv.ca, and that's thanks to Eddie D'Souza, or you can go to facebook.com/QToday. Big Q, big T, all one word.
Perfect. Remember, Q Today is produced by QMAG, the Quesnel Media Access Group, and thank you very much for watching. Remember, our purpose is to get